Welcome to Wisdom Unveiled. Before we really get started, we do want to say that what you're about to hear is, well, it's a translation of Iranian philosophers.
It is.
And we might miss a few things here and there in the translation.
For sure.
And for that, we apologize. But
It happens.
we're going to do our best
Absolutely.
to capture the essence of what's being said.
Yeah.
So today we are focusing on Saadi of Shiraz.
A poet.
Yeah, and a poet who uses some really striking imagery
Yes, he does.
to get his point across.
He does.
It's almost like he's trying to shake us up a little
Yeah, wake us up.
and make us really think.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. What I think is so fascinating about Saadi is how he takes something that's so familiar,
Yeah.
like wine,
Right.
getting drunk, and he just flips it on its head.
Yeah.
You know? He's talking about intoxication, but not the kind that you get out of a bottle.
Right.
It's like this intoxication of the soul.
Exactly. And in one of his poems, he even talks about being drunk on longing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, has there ever been something that you wanted so badly
Oh, yeah.
that it just consumed you?
Yeah.
That's the kind of intense longing that he's describing here.
Yeah, and he uses some pretty bold language to do it, too.
Yeah, he does.
He says, I am my own cupbearer, intoxicated by the longing I possess. You, with a single sip more, could take me beyond myself.
Whoa.
It's like he's saying this yearning, this desire is so powerful that it can transport him to another realm.
Yeah, it's almost like he's challenging us, too,
I think so.
to think about what really intoxicates us.
Absolutely.
You know, what drives us.
Yeah,
Is it material things, fleeting pleasures,
right.
or is it something deeper
Yeah.
that we're searching for? And Saadi seems to think it's the latter for sure.
He does. And, he goes even further with this.
Oh, yeah.
He talks about two types of wine.
Okay.
So there's mol,
Okay.
which represents earthly wine,
Right, the regular.
Yeah, the kind that gives you that temporary buzz.
Right.
And then there's tamil,
Okay.
which translates to contemplation or deep thought.
Hmm.
This is like the real deal for Saadi.
All right.
This is the true source of spiritual insight.
Interesting.
It's not about indulging, in those fleeting pleasures,
Right.
but really about engaging in profound thought and reflection.
I love that. The wordplay he uses there.
Oh, yeah.
It's like he's elevating Tamil, this contemplation, as
Absolutely.
a superior form of wine.
Exactly.
But what does he mean by contemplation?
Right.
I mean, what is it? Just sitting around and thinking about stuff.
Well, it's definitely more than just daydreaming.
Right.
It's a much deeper level of engagement.
Okay.
He's urging us to move beyond that superficial thinking
Okay.
and really ponder the why behind everything.
The why behind our actions and
Our beliefs.
our beliefs. Wow.
Yeah, and even our existence.
Okay.
He's really pushing us to question everything and seek a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
So it's about challenging assumptions, looking beyond the surface, grappling with big questions.
It is.
No wonder he calls it a form of intoxication.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty intense.
It can be transformative.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know what?
Right.
He even suggests that this intoxication can lead to a kind of
Well, really?
a dual fulfillment,
Okay.
both intellectual and spiritual.
Wow.
There's a line where he says, a person who is intoxicated by contemplation hits two targets with a single arrow.
Wow.
It's like he's saying that through deep thought, we can achieve both profound knowledge and a sense of spiritual ecstasy.
Huh?
We don't have to choose.
Wow.
Between wisdom and bliss, we can have both.
That's a pretty compelling argument for making time for contemplation.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, it's kind of hard to find that time in our busy world.
It is.
There's so many distractions pulling us in different directions.
Absolutely.
I'm curious, what helps you carve out space for this kind of deep thought?
Well, it's a constant challenge, I think, for all of us.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that Saadi himself led a very active life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was a scholar, a traveler, and a mystic.
Okay.
So he wasn't advocating for just like a retreat from the world. It's more about finding those pockets of time, those moments of stillness amidst the busyness of life.
So it's about integrating contemplation into our daily lives,
Yes.
rather than trying to create this artificial separation
Exactly.
between the spiritual and the mundane.
Exactly. And maybe that's the key,
Yeah.
recognizing that the divine isn't separate from our everyday experience. It's woven into the fabric of our lives,
Yeah.
just waiting to be discovered.
That's a really beautiful way to think about it.
Thank you.
And it ties back to that intoxication metaphor we were talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not about escaping reality,
No.
but experiencing it more fully.
I think so.
more deeply, with a heightened sense of awareness and appreciation.
I think you're really onto something there.
Oh, thanks.
It's like he's encouraging us to shed those layers of distraction and preoccupation that prevent us from truly seeing the world
right.
as it is
Yeah.
in all its beauty and wonder.
And maybe that's what it means to be truly intoxicated by life.
I think so.
To be fully present, to appreciate those small miracles that surround us, to recognize the divine spark that resides within each of us.
That's a beautiful thought, and I think it really captures the essence of what Saadi's trying to convey in his work.
So if we're looking for like a practical takeaway,
Sure.
a piece of wisdom that we can carry with us from Saadi,
Yeah.
what would it be?
Well, I think it would be this. How can we cultivate that sense of intoxication, that deep connection with ourselves and the world around us, even amidst the chaos of daily life? This idea that true fulfillment comes from within.
Right.
That it's not about chasing external things.
Yeah.
This is like a recurring theme in Saadi's work.
Totally.
He really emphasizes
He does?
the importance of self-awareness.
Right.
And recognizing that divine spark within each of us.
Yeah, and he uses some really vivid stories and metaphors
It does.
to get that point across.
Absolutely.
It's not just dry philosophy.
No.
It's like he's painting these pictures
Yeah.
with his words.
They still with you.
Yeah, they do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's one story in particular that I find really fascinating.
Okay.
It's about this old holy man who's suffering from knee pain.
Okay.
His friend suggests that he should stretch it out.
Okay.
But the holy man says he can't
He can't. Why?
because he has company.
Oh, okay.
What kind of company could possibly prevent him from stretching his knee?
Yeah.
Well, he explains that God is present with him,
Mm,
and therefore he must act accordingly.
I see.
It's such a simple story,
It is, yeah.
but it really gets you thinking.
It really does. It's like he's saying his awareness of God
Right.
is so constant
Yeah.
that it affects even the most mundane things in his life.
Yes.
It's not something he turns on and off.
Exactly.
It's just there.
His reality
Yeah.
shaping his thoughts and actions.
Exactly. That's what Saadi's trying to get at, right?
I think so.
That the divine isn't this distant concept.
Yeah,
It's a living presence that permeates everything.
it is.
But then why don't we feel that presence all the time?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is.
Saadi suggests that there are veils that obscure our perception
Oh,
of the divine.
veils, huh?
Yeah, and these veils can be anything that distracts us
Oh, okay.
from being fully present.
Okay.
Our ego,
Right.
our attachments, our worries,
Right.
even our constant need to be entertained.
To be stimulated, yeah.
It's like we're surrounded by this incredible beauty and wonder,
Yeah.
but we're too caught up in our own heads to see it.
So it's not that God is hiding from us.
No,
We're hiding from God,
that's an interesting way to put it.
or at least from experiencing that connection.
I think Saadi would agree.
Yeah.
He's saying that the path to experiencing the divine is in removing these veils,
I see.
cultivating a deeper awareness.
Okay, that makes sense, but how do we actually do that?
Right.
Like, it's one thing to talk about removing veils.
Sure.
What are the practical steps?
Right. And Saadi wasn't advocating for just quitting your job
Right.
and going to live in a cave.
Right, okay.
He believed that true spirituality had to be lived,
Mm,
not just contemplated.
okay.
It means finding ways to integrate those principles of self-reflection,
Uh-huh.
mindfulness, and gratitude
Okay.
into our everyday lives.
So it's not about escaping the world,
No,
but transforming our experience of it.
exactly.
Finding those moments of stillness amidst the chaos.
That's it.
Okay.
It could be as simple as taking a few deep breaths before you start your day,
Right.
or pausing to appreciate the beauty of nature,
Yeah.
or simply being more present with others.
Okay.
The key is to cultivate that awareness
Right.
in everything you do.
It's almost like shifting your perspective.
It is.
Seeing the world through a different lens.
Yeah. Instead of rushing through your to-do list,
Right.
you're savoring each moment,
Yeah.
appreciating the little things,
Right.
and recognizing that spark in everyone you encounter.
And that's a powerful shift.
It is.
When you start to see the world that way,
Yeah,
it changes everything.
it does.
The mundane becomes sacred.
Yeah.
The ordinary becomes extraordinary.
Absolute right.
And you begin to experience a deeper sense of connection,
You do.
not just with the divine, but with all of creation.
That's beautifully put.
Oh, thanks.
I think that's a really important takeaway from Saadi's work.
Yeah.
He's not giving us a set of rules,
No.
but a framework for living a more meaningful life.
Okay.
It's about cultivating that inner awareness,
Right.
that connection with the divine, and letting it guide you.
And maybe that's the path to experiencing that true intoxication he talks about.
Yeah.
That sense of being fully alive and connected to something greater.
Absolutely. It's not about escaping reality.
Right.
It's about embracing it.
Yeah.
Experiencing it fully.
Yeah.
Finding that spark in everything you do.
Now, that's a journey I'm willing to embark on. You know, as we're talking about this idea of like finding the divine in the everyday,
Yeah.
it makes me think back to those opening lines, the poem that we read.
Right?
The one where he says, I am my own cupbearer, intoxicated by the longing I possess.
Yeah.
It's like he's saying that the source of his joy,
Right.
it's not external, it's like internal.
It's welling up from within.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really crucial point.
Yeah.
He's highlighting this inner yearning,
Mm-hmm.
this deep desire for connection with the divine.
Right.
It goes beyond the material world.
It does, yeah.
You know, he's not talking about longing for possessions or status.
Right.
He's longing for something far more profound.
It's like a thirst that can't be quenched
Yeah.
by anything earthly.
It is. It's like a homing beacon that's always pointing us towards something greater than ourselves.
And what I think is so interesting is how he uses this metaphor of intoxication
Yes.
to describe this longing.
Right.
It's not just like a gentle yearning.
No, it's a powerful force
Yeah.
that can consume you
Yeah.
and even transport you to another realm.
It's not subtle.
No, he's not shying away from the intensity of it at all.
No, he's not.
He's like, look, this desire, this longing for the divine,
Right.
it's not a casual interest.
Right.
It's a force that can shake you to your core.
And I think that's what makes his work so compelling.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He's not afraid to really delve into those depths
Exactly.
of human experience.
Yeah, those raw emotions, those spiritual yearnings
Right.
that so many of us shy away from.
Yeah. It's almost like he's giving us permission
I think so.
to feel those longings.
Yes.
To embrace them.
Yeah, to revel in them even.
Yeah. And maybe
Yeah.
by surrendering to that yearning, we can actually find a path to fulfillment that is more lasting.
Perhaps. That's a beautiful way to put it.
Oh, thanks.
It's like he's saying,
Yeah.
don't try to suppress these desires.
Right.
Don't numb them
Right.
with distractions or fleeting pleasures.
Yeah.
Lean into them.
Yeah.
Explore them.
Right.
Let them be your guide.
Okay, so if we were to like boil this all down,
Yeah.
like a practical takeaway,
Yeah.
a piece of wisdom that we can carry with us from Saadi.
Yeah. What would it be? I think it would be this.
Yeah.
Cultivate that inner yearning.
Okay.
Embrace that longing for connection
Uh-huh.
with the divine, with something greater than yourself.
Okay.
And let that longing guide your path.
Because
In that pursuit, in that journey of seeking
Right.
and discovering, you're going to find a source of joy and fulfillment
right.
that transcends the fleeting pleasures of the material world.
And maybe, just maybe,
Yeah.
you'll find yourself intoxicated
Yeah,
by the beauty and wonder of a life
absolutely.
lived in alignment with that purpose.
Exactly. It's not about having all the answers
Right.
or achieving some grand spiritual goal.
Right.
It's about embarking on the journey
Yeah.
with an open heart, a curious mind,
Yeah.
and a willingness to be transformed.
So well said. And to our listeners,
Yes.
thank you for joining us on this deep dive
It's been a pleasure.
into the wisdom of Saadi.
Yes.
We hope his insights have sparked some curiosity
I hope so.
and maybe even inspired you to embark on your own
Your own journey.
journeys of self-discovery and spiritual exploration.
It's a journey worth taking.
Until next time,
Yeah.
keep seeking, keep questioning,
Find
keep
your-
diving deep,
Into that vast ocean of knowledge.
and may your journey be filled with joy, wonder, and the intoxicating discovery of your own unique truths.
Well said.